Dimitar, Chrissy.
Thank you, Christian. So, hello, everyone from some different perspectives, not from Christian's office, but today with my colleague Christina Stoyanova, together we are ERUA institutional coordinators, but we're going to present New Bulgarian University's approach to open science. Unfortunately, our colleague Christina Todorova is not able to participate today due to some health issues, but still as director of our library, she is the one responsible for all that we have done so far in this topic. And we are very proud to say that nowadays New Bulgarian University Library is actually one of the biggest, not only in Bulgaria, but in the Balkan Peninsula. And it's very, very important too for our university to influence, to have an impact on students community, researchers community, and of course from outside of the university public. So actually, New Bulgarian University is a private university, but actually we are public university, which means that it's not about the property of the university, but about the mindset and the idea how we approach spreading science, not only in the framework of our campus and our communities here, but also outside for different audiences. So since the beginning, our university believes in these values that science should be democratized, to be open for people. Of course, during the 90s, it wasn't possible because 100% because of the lack of digitalization. And first step that we did is actually in late 90s in this direction, but then a couple of new technologies, new approaches we did in order to broaden this open science approach policy that we have, because we strongly believe, as I said, that science should be open for more people, interested, motivated people to know more. And we have different platforms, different channels via which we can make more people familiar with not only with world achievement in science, but also with our own publications in various forms. So, despite of being vice rector for international relations, of course, I'm honored to present our approach in open science via our library resources. Sorry. Okay, so in 1999, actually, the library initiated a project supported by entire academic community of our university for the electronic publication of open access periodicals, or the so-called Gold Open Access. The project continues today with the journals Bibliosphere, which is, as you can see, electronic journal which embraces the services, resources, and technologies involved in information science and library, which is actually first of its kind in library field in our country. And the second journal is Law Journal of New Bulgarian University, which is actually the first open access journal in the field of law in Bulgaria, and even nowadays is very, very prominent issue. 6 years later, the Scholar Electronic Repository, which is actually the focus of our presentation, was launched, providing the so-called green open access to the scholarly and creative product created at the university, where authors can achieve their works independently. So SCORE electronic repository of our university is also the first of its kind as an institutional repository created in Bulgaria at OU. Okay. These are our colleagues, Gergana and Radostina, who are actually the main figures running the whole system. So credits to them. As you can see here, our publishing house publishes many open access publications. We are talking about monographs, textbooks, conference proceedings, periodicals, yearbooks of each department that we have, and some journals. The publishing house has a special selection on its website, special place on its website, where the full text files of the publication are available. The section is divided into parts, as you can see, books and periodicals. Sorry, it's in Bulgarian, but it's easier for us to navigate through this information, more or less, and you to have more impression of our website and how it appears currently. In 2016, it was decided to deposit all monographs and textbooks in the SCORE electronic repository of our university. This ensures permanent storage, reliable indexing, which aims to promote and ensure the availability of the scientific works of the Bulgarian university researchers, scholars on the global network, which means that we try to be more visible, not only on local scale, but globally. Indexing the SCORE electronic repository is carried out immediately after publication in the publisher's website by librarians from the new Bulgarian University. It's a kind of short review about the major official components, aspects that scholars need to fill in the forms before officially this or that article or textbooks to be published. So as you can see, full text is available here, usually in PDF, and a lot of more information is available also in order everybody to know what exactly is this material. Here is the abstract, type of publication, subject, of course, and subject if it's necessary, and so on and so forth. From the beginning of 2019, the aim is to publish all issues of open science journals through Bulgarian University Academic Journals portal. This ensures permanent storage, reliable indexing, and which is aimed to promote and ensure this accessibility to our scientific work. Once again, the implementation of the project expanding the impact of research journals published by NBU, founded by our Central Strategic Development Fund, which is under the umbrella of Board of Trustees, which is the major unit running our university. It creates a real condition for increasing the visibility and usability of Bulgarian University scientific periodicals by our own academic community at home and abroad, actually. The creation of this portal, the Bulgarian University Academic Journals portal, in addition to bringing together the independent, newly created subsites of Bulgarian University periodicals, facilitates online publishing and creates conditions for indexing the general scientific content on the internet. Okay, so in the same year, it was decided Okay, so this portal has been created and operates on the basis of the open source platform Open Journal Systems. It's stored on a server at the university, which is kind of independence that we wanted to achieve. The aim is that each New Bulgarian University periodicals has its own subsite. In the portal, all journals are indexed in Latin, predominantly in English, of course, down to the author and title level of individual article. The system offers simultaneous search of all periodicals by author or keywords in the title. Indexing the New Bulgarian University Academic Journal portal is done immediately after publication of the publisher's website, and as I said, controlled, run by librarians from our library. In 2019, the publishing house of NBU became a full member of Crossref, an international independent association of publishers of academic and professional journals. Membership allows all articles in our electronic periodicals to be assigned unique identification numbers from 2019 onwards. Thus, each publication can be accurately cited thanks to our unique DOI. So the NBU prefix, you can see it on the slide, and the suffix is formed by our librarians and is comprised of an abbreviation, name of the publication, year, serial number of the article. So the portal can be accessed from the homepage of the NBU website in the Book Center section. A link has been created on the library's website in the electronic resources menu. And additional link to the individual periodicals level will be also provided from the individual department pages on the English version of the NBU website. Information about Bulgarian language editions is available as before on the pages on the respective department and on the publisher's website. So you have two opportunities to reach the information, to see the information. The implementation of the project creates a real condition for increasing visibility and usability of the NBU scientific periodicals by the academic community of our home and abroad. So it's actually, because in the teaching perspective, of course, you know that it's very hard now to explain, especially to our youngest students, that there is something beyond Google. So our resources are very, very useful to demonstrate a real scientific work that is not that easy to be reached via Google nowadays, and of course our youngest generation students to be familiar with the academic articles, not only those for mass consumption. Okay, so within the framework of the project expanding the impact of research journals published by NBU, funded by Central Strategic Fund, 33 question survey has been implemented to establish the current status of NBU journals. All 24 periodicals identified participated in this survey. An analysis of the status of the publications was prepared. A set of exemplary publishing policies and specific developing recommendations for each individual periodicals was developed, taking into account the information provided by the trainers during the workshop, successful academic periodicals, publishing, indexing, and referencing, and the data collected about the publications in the survey. A number of meetings were held with the Hunger editors and editorial boards of the journals during the 10 main recommendations, during which the 10 main recommendations for the development of the journals were discussed. And namely, actually, you can see here one of the most prominent publications that we have both in Bulgarian and English. Some of them are annual books by departments and the law journal and so on and so forth. The Central and Eastern European Online Library is a repository of a full text indicated documents in the field of humanities and social sciences, publications from and about Central and Eastern Europe. The collections include native language sources from and about Central, East, and Southeast Europe's humanities and social sciences in the form of journal articles, e-books, and grey literature. The database is extremely popular in Bulgaria as it presents the scholarly output of almost all academic publishers in the country. Since 2016, NBU has been contractual relationships with the CEOL for the purpose of bilingual indexing of journals, yearbooks, and periodicals. Indexing is usually the original language of the publication and in English, in the framework of expanding the impact of research journal published by NBU. An additional annex has been signed to cover 21 of the 24 participating journals. New issues published in 2019 of this journal are to be included in the database immediately. Open sources journals are indexed into the system by NBU library according to the specific requirements of the database. The collaboration provides for the include open access editions of the NBU. High visibility and awareness, full text indexing by Google Scholar, Promo, and Summon. Opportunity to reach new audiences through CEOL institutional and individual subscribers. Uses statistics on article level, as our colleague has already said. Data science is something important in the area of open science, especially in our libraries. Now we are continuing with electronic repository by NBU. Actually, it's as a teacher, I'm saying this. It's something very, very useful for us to demonstrate our academic work, our research, no matter of the language. It's useful because we are visible for our colleagues from abroad, for example, and of course we can use these resources to connect our scientific work with our courses and specific topics that we are discussing with our students during the lectures or summer schools or workshops and so on and so forth. The project for creation of the repository was implemented under the HESP program of the Open Society Institute. In the framework of this project, a special server was set up in 2005, and the workshop was held on the theme that created the repository. The following year, 2006, the NBU has chosen open source software, ePrints. It was installed using the original English interface. So as you can see, our repository is still in English. The software functionalities clearly delineate the role of the administrators and archive administrators. Deposit rules and deposit agreements were developed and signed electronically between the NBU and the author. A manual for the university's faculty and staff was drafted in 2007. The same year, the electronic deposit of materials in the archive began. As a result, in first 25 publications are available to help with the demonstration of the repository to the academic staff of the university. The repository is registered with OpenDOR under the name New Bulgarian University Score Electronic Repository. The OpenDOAR is defined as institutional and multidisciplinary. Okay, sorry about that. The software used, sorry, I'm going to finish this. The software used to build online specific electronic tools. To build NBU scientific electronic archive is ePrint, as I've mentioned. It's one of the popular software for building institutional repositories. Besides the specialist administrators, it's also significantly user-oriented. So, of course, it's important to be easy to be used not only for administrators but also for authors. The developers are constantly striving to remove barriers to depositing score content, but also to create a mechanism to improve the quality of metadata and generally ensure the information value of the digital archive by reducing the time to deposit. The ability to import data from other repositories or through other services, auto-populating fields for faster data entry and name authority control. The system adheres fully to the principle of single entry and reuse of the data. It can work in conjunction with other bibliographic manager type of systems, various desktop and web 2 applications, RCC feed and email notifications. Users can easily compile bibliographies according to the different criteria and in different formats, export data, generate their own RCC feeds, and integrate them into other web applications. The system also has many features such as archive browsing by year, scrolling by author, browsing by subject, scrolling by department, most recent entries, and finally search the archive.
Good afternoon. We're continuing with Scholar Electronic Repository of the New Bulgarian University. The software used to build the New Bulgarian University Scientific Electronic Archive is ePrints. It is one of the popular software for building institutional repositories. Besides the specialist administrators, it is also significantly user-oriented. The developers are constantly striving to remove barriers of depositing scholarly content, but also to create mechanisms to improve the quality of the metadata and generally ensure the information value of the digital archive by reducing the time to deposit, the ability to import data from other repositories or through other services, auto-populating fields and faster data entry and name authority control. Record elements in the repository are title, bibliographical description, file format, internet address of the publication, abstract, document type, subject headings, document ID, by whom it was deposited, when it was deposited, and when it was modified. Development of the New Bulgarian University CER, as you can see the number of the deposited documents in the New Bulgarian University repository. It is clear that despite the voluntary nature of the deposit, the number of the documents deposited in the repository is steadily increasing. From the first 25 deposited experimentally in 2007, the number of the deposited documents has increased. At the end of 2021, 3,200 documents are stored there. Popularity of New Bulgarian University CR. It is worth mentioning here that all traffic from registered and unregistered users on New Bulgarian University's SER is analyzed by the web-based system. The year-wise data presented in the figure shows sustained interest in the documents deposited in the system, and the users are from all over the world. Visibility. The global visibility of open publication makes them more readable than those that are not available on the web. Thus, open access has an impact on popularity, and in turn, it leads to greater influence, which also means more frequent references, in other words, citations. Authors gain this visibility thanks to the priority indexing of documents from institutional repositories that is provided by search engines such as Google Sans. The archive team plays an active role in information dissemination by involving the CER in information infrastructure projects. Transferring metadata to the Dart Europe portal. New Bulgarian University is the first Bulgarian university included in this project. The data transfer is done through the OAI protocol, and the data format is OAI Dublin Core. Dart Europe's European portal for electronic theses and dissertations collect metadata on a daily basis by extracting information according to the criterion of document type, namely dissertation. The only requirement for project participants is that the so-called OAI-based URL of the repository is provided. Currently, information on 280 dissertations and abstracts is available in the portal. Transferring metadata to the NELIS catalog. New Bulgarian University is the first university to include its institutional archive in this catalog. data transfer to the National Academic Library and Information System NALIS catalog and information system is carried out in an identical way. These are mainly descriptions of scientific articles, parts of books, even whole monographs. The integration of this new information set contributed both to enrich the NALIS catalog and to facilitate access to scientific publications at the national level. The descriptions are accompanied by links to the full text of the documents. Currently, the transfer is performed once a week by retrieving data according to a criterion status of the document published. Transferring metadata to the BPOS, the Bulgarian Portal for Open Science aims to coordinate the dissemination of open access scientific results from publicity-funded research and fosters the efforts of all scientists that wish to share their research outputs. The main purpose of the initiative is to provide faster and seamless sharing of publications and other digital research outputs and thus strengthen the communication and collaboration between scientists. The initiative aims to create opportunities for new levels of integration and raise awareness in order to build a global, sustainable, and cooperative open science. The system aims to provide coordination and connectivity with other European infrastructures for open access to scientific information. In compliance with the latest interoperability standards, the resources of the Bulgarian Portal for Open Science are indexing by OpenERI. The development of the portal and the integration with OpenERI infrastructure is an important step towards the archive participation of the Bulgarian research community in the European Open Science Cloud EOSC initiative. The metadata in the national repository is described using, as we said earlier, Dublin core and data site metadata scheme in accordance with OpenERI guidance. Currently, the automatic transfer of data from the Scholar electronic repository of the new Bulgarian University to the Bulgarian Portal for Open Science is performed once a week, retrieving data according to a criterion status of the published document. The library supports research. New Bulgarian University Library develops many services to support scholars during their research. These are delivery of items, journal email ordering service, librarian assisted access to databases, order of items, bibliographic reference, bibliographical formatting, citation analysis, advice on copyright issues and open access publishing, consulting for indexing and referencing academic journals, advice on the choice of citation standards. International Open Access Week, as part of the initiatives to encourage authors by promoting open access to scholarly information and the institutional scholarly archive, New Bulgarian University celebrated International Open Access Week for the first time in 2010. Again, in 2010, a special advertising and information campaign was organized to promote depositing in the university's scholarly electronic archive. In 2013, the International Open Access Week campaign was for the first time conducted entirely online through the New Bulgarian University Library's social media. In the 2020 pandemic, the theme of Open Access Week was open with purpose, taking action to build structural equity and inclusion. The opening took place online in Zoom, and the New Bulgarian University's Scientific Electronic Archive, CEA, and its integration of other information infrastructures such as NAILIS, DART Europe, and BPOS were presented on the different days. Thank you for your attention.